All right, good morning. Good morning. I see a like here. That must be Kevin. Right on time, right on track. We've got a pretty cool session ready to go this morning, ready to hit. I think what I'm going to do is try something different though and tune up first. Oh wait, maybe that's not a whole lot different. Here's your A440. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Boy, oh boy, it was a solid ripper of a weekend over here. And I just hope you guys had your zest and your zeal for life, your fervency. I hope it all expressed itself this weekend. So that A is tuned. So here's my guitar A. And while we're going through the old business or the housekeeping of this whole this whole show, why don't we go ahead and introduce Marty here? Nope, Tweety. So Tweety's available in a link in the description, or he's tagged in the video. If you just feel like you need a Martin, a D, X2E in your life, got a great like M1 sort of like harmonic electronic system, and very cool plug right here, which is also sort of like the battery compartment. So it's super cool, not associated with the strap button, so you're not breaking the thing off. Really cool. I love it, Turns out it's one of my favorite sort of banger guitars, It's one of those guitars that you can use if you get yourself up the creek, you know what I mean? You can paddle your way out with it. It's going to be there for you. So it's cool. It's got a nice solid neck. But we also do while I tune up, I'm just going to keep riffing here. But while I tune up, I wanted you to know that I always use, if you're new here, welcome to the show, and thank you for tuning in, and stick around. We have this metronome here for you. It's 60 beats per minute. We have this, I don't know if you like the Bruce Lee sound effects or not, but hey, you know what Bruce Lee's favorite drink was? The first time I heard it, I just about busted the gut laughing. I don't know what, I was out of control. But we've got these tuning forks, which are also available via link, an affiliate link. And one more thing, and then we'll get back on with it. The capo is also featured. Whoa, extreme close-up, whoa. This is also featured in the video, of course, because I'm featuring it right now. It's the old Page, P-A-I-G-E capo, and it's super easy to just clamp on the neck, leave it there, forget about it until you need it. So it's not like weighting down your pockets. And one of my pet peeves as a guitar player, the last thing I want to do is think about stuff jingling around in my pocket. I have no interest in that. If I can't fly, travel light on the stage or whatever, I keep everything, all my kit always goes in a go bag. I have go bags for everything, and I mean everything, so we're not fooling around here. End of the world comes, go bag for that. Got a few go bags for that, including destinations, so if you like those destinations, go ahead and email me at growth@jasoncareyguitar.com for more information. Or visit us on the web at jasoncareyguitar.com. And you too can get your, if you're not already, we'll turn you into a doomsday prepper. All before you get the Wheaties in your bowl for breakfast. But no, it's really simple. Just simple, just kind of trying to start with a jovial heart and a jovial attitude this morning and try to communicate this throughout the week. Try not to take myself too seriously, you know. And if you are out there watching, this is for you. I really do appreciate you being in my life, and I really do appreciate you being somehow associated with this. If you're a friend and we connect daily or whatever, I definitely appreciate you being in my life and in the lives of my family and community and serving with me and that kind of thing. But likely, you already know that because I tell people that stuff. We can never hear that enough. You know what I'm talking about. You know the praise of which I speak. Good. Let's start out. We're right there, tuned up and ready to go, all breathed into it. And posture's good. That dastardly hunched back of the guitar cult. We want to get rid of that. We want to eradicate the myth that we need to turn into Quasimodos and start with fingers 3 and 4 on 10 and 12 with a very strong count. 1 E and a 2 E and a you know what to do. Here we go. And I can see that people are popping in and out. And if you're one of those ones who stick around, the benefit you're going to get from this morning's session is that, number one, that nice jovial attitude will hopefully carry throughout, but you also get your guitar in hands. Go grab your guitar. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Go grab your guitar, bring it over here, and practice along with me. Or, I'm sorry, did I use the word practice? Oh boy. We're using the word warm-up. Did I use the word word to describe two words? Is warm-up one word or two? So, just grab your guitar, jump on in, man. The water's fine. Grab your guitar and start paddling your way to the other shore. And surely you will enjoy it. 1 E and 2 fingers, 2 and 3, frets 10 and 12, go. That's right. And we are tearing it up this morning at 60 beats per minute. The Guitar Institute of Technology would be proud. We'd be making them proud. At least we're steady and calm and in control of each and every single note that we play. This is important. It's super important. Why is it important? I don't really know. I mean, I've heard Kurt Cobain play guitar before, and I guess it's not really all that important. But I guess to some it could be construed as important. All I want to do through this series, I'm here every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time for the entire year. And sometimes I think maybe I kind of frigged up by doing this. I kind of like locked myself into being here every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time, doing this on the internet. And sometimes I feel like, I should start at 6:30 and go until 9:30. But I think this hour is good. It's a good warm-up. So let's try this. Fingers 1 and 2, 10 and 12. 2, T, yeah, fingers 1 and 2, got a little stretch going, just getting it started. I feel like we could be at 90 BPM this morning, but as you know, I made a commitment to myself, and And sympathetically, through that agreement that I made with myself, it also was made with you. I don't know if you were aware of that or not. But I'm going to use 60 beats per minute for the entire year. And what I wanted to do, the reason I want to do this, I want to do this to, number one, ingratiate myself with the fretboard of the guitar. I really want to develop an appeal to the guitar fretboard that please let me unlock your secrets. You know, let me continue to deepen my appreciation and my wisdom. Give me the ears, please, so that I can hear your wisdom. And as you start to redefine yourself, fretboard, I'm talking to the fretboard now. As you start to redefine yourself, fretboard, as a singularity or a point of infinite density, or a, you know, all of these things moving around at different places at different times, but all as one. As I start to wake up to that, please help me maintain the discipline so that I can continue to know what to do and bring these ideas to new ideas and wisdoms to new places, to new ears. All right, there you go. There's my little intention for the morning. Fingers 2 and 4 on 9 and 12. 1C and a 2C, and I'm not putting on my choosies yet. So we're getting the two, we're still in the world of two fingers. Yeah, and we're going for the extra, you know, we're doing non-contiguous two finger groups now. We'll just keep on keeping on. Once we get down to position, I don't know, let's say 1, we'll go and turn around and drag ourselves all the way back up by the bootstraps to position number 9. If you stick around today, we've got a pretty good show in store, I think. And by show, I mean warm-up, of course. Really not much of a show. I do have to admit, unless you're a complete gear guitar, you know, sort of like, I have friends who are into like guitar, like the voodoo side of the guitar. They're into like every little like nuance, like the quality of the battery that we're using. Is it Ever-Ready or Energizer or Duracell? Or is it a Voodoo Labs power supply for the pedal board? Or, you know, everything changes and everything is all so fluid. And then once in a while, we'll find ourselves, finger 1 and 3 on 9 and 12, we'll find ourselves, you know, in a place, sort of like an operational space for a while where we have a preference. And, you know, like for example, at some point in your younger life, maybe you didn't like tomatoes. And maybe like at some point in your adult life, you realize, wow, wait a minute. I do like tomatoes. Is that an heirloom beefsteak? Why, yes it is. Do you like that? And your adult self answers, yes, I like that. So musical tastes change, you know, tastes change, we grow and change. And so too does the gear that we use. So once in a while we might be stuck on a guitar that we like, we prefer a cable that we like, a guitar and a cable and an amp. A good guitar, a good cable, and a good amp is all you ever need. Plus a receptacle and some good 110 or something, or wherever you are in the world. As long as you have power of the amp, you're in pretty good shape. Good clean power, good clean amp, good clean cable, good clean guitar. You know, really don't need a whole lot as a guitar player. All right, let's do fingers 1 and 4 on 9 and 7 and 12. So the two outside fingers, the old distal phalanges going for a little walk this morning, a little tiptoe. Part of this morning is going to be a requiem for our good neighbor down the road passed last night. And he's an old timer. He's been a staple in the town. He could actually have lied to everyone, and there was, you know, no one around to disprove him, right? He was the last one. So we'll go ahead and do a lament for John. 2 fingers. We're getting back into 3 fingers now. Fingers 2, 3, and 4 on frets 10, 11, and 12. Thanks for being here with me this morning. 1 E and a 2, 2 and there it is. Don't even need the words, just a little grunts here and there, and that sets us off. Nice, right down the straight and narrow, right down the right up the chute, shooting upward, aiming for the sky, aiming. Do you set goals every day? Do you have goals every day that you set? Or do you set long-term goals? I'm getting texts right now about my neighbor, so we're still getting those. That's kind of big news around these parts. He's sort of the, historian. He was keeper, sort of gatekeeper for a lot of the old history of this area, and his name goes back to, to the Civil War under Joshua Chamberlain, his general, General Joshua Chamberlain, and Greenleaf Stevens. So it was around him. Kind of a tough fella to find in the archives, but he was there. All right, we're getting back to the top of it, and we're going to change from 3 fingers here to 3 fingers here and 1. Because we have this, we don't really need to count off any more than 1. And sometimes it's more comfortable for some of us to hear all of the full count, but it's totally unnecessary, as we become acclimated to hearing the count and feeling that tempo, So what did you do this weekend? If you just can't resist and you have to share with me what you did this weekend, you can, number 1, visit me at jasoncareyguitar.com and contact me through that form, or I can give you my email directly. And the off chance that you actually have something you would like to share, just in case, growth, GROWTH, so growth, as in I ate too much spaghetti last night, at jasoncareyguitar.com. So hopefully you had a good weekend. We did do a little bit of, we projected a movie, a film on one of the side walls of one of the buildings on this property, and we took a couple of videos of it, and it actually was pretty cool. It was a lot of fun. We do need to get mosquito lights though, or something, to get rid of those. Mosquitoes were pretty crazy. It felt like Dante's Inferno, Ninth Ring of Hell kind of stuff for a little moment there. All right, fingers 1 and 2 and 4 on 9 and 10 and 12. Let's do it. Here we go. What do you think? 1 E and a 2, 3 E and a go. Kind of hard to believe it's Monday already. I think we're going to forego the first stretch, and at the top of the hour, we'll go ahead and take a little breather. We'll take a little break for the old stretcheroonie. Just trying to get my lower back adjusted, because I know what it feels like when I'm sitting wrong, and I want to give my lower back a little bit of attention, so I'm putting both bones sort of like squarely onto the chair. I'll show you the chair I'm on in just a moment. If you haven't seen this chair, you've got to see this chair. It's nothing really special other than a world-renowned craftsman made it, and at the same time he was bringing it up to my studio in another location. He was delivering a bunch to Nora Jones' band. So I guess Miss Jones, Did you know that Shnora's Miss Jones is the daughter of Ravi Shankar? Did you know that? All right, fingers 1 and 3 and 4 on 9, 11, and 12. Here we go. After this, if I remember, I'll show you the chair. I could show you the chair now, I guess, so you can just get up and do that. But I'll drop my towel, so just give me one moment. But it's really cool. It's a good chair. It's a little high, so what I did is I have a box that I built that's about 5 inches tall that puts my knees out parallel with the floor, you know, by the way I'm seated. So I don't have, everything it's really all by design. So I don't have to rely on a footstool, you know, and then have one leg elevated higher than the other leg. Let me just step out of the way for a minute. I'll show you the chair that I'm seated on. This is just it's a remarkable piece of work. And it does really encourage good posture because there's no cushion on the thing except for your own sort of hind end. Let me just finish talking about it and I'll show you the chair. So that's the chair, that's the surface, and you can see that it's sort of like contoured. I think you can see it, right? So it's you know, if this was up at scale and you were a dirt bike, you know, motocross racer, you kind of love that berm right there. Wow. But it's all hand carved and pinned, and mortised and stuff like that. It's a beautiful rig. It really is a beautiful rig. And so what I do is I know where my bum is supposed to, I know where I'm supposed to be seated. It's kind of like carved into the wood, into the cherry, the piece of cherry. And so I know what it feels like when I'm sitting correctly, and I know what it feels like when I definitely know what it feels like when I'm not sitting correctly. And I want to keep this abdominal wall all sort of structured and as tight as this jelly roll can get anyway. And that will be the way I sit for the remainder of the hour, right? That in the perfect world is where I want to be just attentive to every single thing, not so that I can just get through a 30-second Instagram guitar blast, but I want to play for endurance, you know. I'm just looking for endurance. I've always been an endurance sort of person, so 1 E and a 2, like a marathon sort of athlete, you know, endurance athlete. You'd never know it by looking at me now, but maybe your mind's eye could actually get to work a little bit and visualize that, you know. I like to do that. Distance, go in the distance. He's going the something like that. I forget the horn arrangement, but that's a really cool song. Where did we end up? We finished all of the 3-finger work, so I guess we're at 4 fingers again, and we're just above the top of the hour. So we'll go ahead and start 1, 2, 3, 4 on 9, 10, 11, and 12. We've got 4 minutes. We can do this. 1 E and a 2. You know what to do. And so what I like to do is focus on my posture. Well, before that, the thing that comes before that is always the observance of God and, you know, developing my own personal faith so that I don't turn into one of those, you know, doomsdayers, you know what I mean? I just don't want to live, I just want to refuse to live like that. So just keeping a good sort of frame of mind, a mindset. And that's what we're talking about here is mindset. And that mindset starts with breathing for me. you can hear that the box that my feet are resting on is sort of it's a pine box, and my feet are just kind of walking down the 60 beat per minute path. So I get a little bit of percussive benefit as well. And we don't always only get the percussive benefit. We get the rhythmic benefit of getting some of the the rhythm driven into our body, so we can actually feel what it is we're doing. We can feel the tempo, and I think it's fair enough to say that's an important thing to be able to feel our way through. Looking back on some of this, I forget sometimes that really the main goal of this for me, this warm-up, is to number one, ingratiate my person with the fretboard and get to know the guitar, just deepen my arrangement or agreement or contract with the guitar, and then so that we might become one, right? And develop that trust and knowledge base to formulate that basis upon which we can build our argument on the guitar, and then we can solve for whatever, So that's the calculus behind that, and then other than that, it's a warm-up mindset. I'm not really looking for discovery stuff right at the moment. I'm working on focusing on my breathing, focusing on in and out, Daniel-san. And the movie that we watched this weekend was Karate Kid, right? The new Karate Kid with Mr. Chan. And all right, so anyway, back to mindset. Fingers 1, 2, 3, and stretch forward the fourth finger up. So 9, 10, 11, 13, right? 1 E and a 2. We'll keep going and then talk as we go. Good, yeah, and so mindset. We're going to talk about mindset a little bit because mindset is affecting everyone at the moment, and probably mostly at every moment. Mindset is an important thing that is all of a sudden surfacing everywhere, and mindset or mind frame of mind, or point of view or perspective, maybe they're all close enough to similar where we're not going to need to discuss the differences. But mindset for me is relating only to just what I'm doing right now as a warm-up, and not, which is to say it's different than a practice session. So practice sessioning would be, doing all of the things and building repertoire and solidifying repertoire, grabbing the unknown, slowly making it known, and discovering the unknown and slowly making it known, and adding that into the banks or the repository, or we call it the repertoire. So we've had, we'll have a list of repertoire and a list of our repertoire with all of the songs that we know that we can play, and maybe a few stage antics, to share, and that kind of stuff. The B list is going to be loaded with songs that are sort of like in a state of disrepair, or just new. They're new, and need some work, and need some attention. They need some learning. They need some absorbing. So that's really what practice is for me. It's a different. So let me just kind of reiterate again, for my own purposes, just for my own benefit, and you can hear it if you'd like to stick around. But for me, warm up is different than practice up, right? 1 E and a 2 fingers, fret position 9, 9, 10, 11, and 12, and then we're dropping that first finger back, the kickstand, to fret number 8, 10, 11, and 12. 1 E and a 2, you know what to do. Yeah, I always felt like my students could use more warm-up time. Do you know what I mean? I always felt like maybe it was just a mirror, me seeing what I needed in my own life or whatever, but I always thought guitar was, you know, sort of a commitment, similar to the way a good, you know, clean, effective golf swing is, you know, I think they're both very similar skills, you know. They both are worthy of being honed, right? They're both worthy of honing. All right, I've done enough talking for a moment. Let me just get through this final passage without any voice. Just breath. Good. I think we're there. All right, we're there, and we're definitely there. And we are ready and willing. Willing is the other thing. Yeah, I've been following this guy on TikTok. Maybe this will help some of you. He's the CEO of a group called, an artist management group called Deep South. And he is just super, you know, just a super person to check out. You can find him. But if you're interested in a longitudinal experience with your guitar, or maybe even on the road, or maybe even a music career, I'm not saying that he is necessarily the right fit for you at the moment or ever, or maybe he'll be the best thing for you, you know. But he was talking the other day about longevity, you know, and I thought, well, he's sharing something about longevity, and we've been talking about this a lot lately, about what it takes for me to just get here every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. And it requires diet, it requires nutrition, it requires exercise, activity, it requires, for me, yoga 2 times a day. So between 40 and 60 minutes of yoga a day, at least 5 days a week. I try for 7, and it requires the shuffling of other financial obligations, other financial opportunities. It does require that there's sacrifice being made, right? It does require sacrifice to get to the guitar. But then, you know, I think the idea about can I do this and not necessarily worry about where my, you know, how I'm going to pay my next bill? Yeah, maybe. Can I, you know, basically go on a trip whenever I want? Maybe. Yeah, probably. Can I guess maybe, I don't know, can I choose the jobs that I take? Yeah, probably. I guess I can, and I do. And does that make me wealthy? Does that make me rich? I think so. I think it's very simple to live a rich life. And it's very easy. It's also at the same time very simple to live a wanting life. You know, it's very simple to live a life of plenty. And it's at the same time very simple to live a life of scarcity, right? And those two things are mindset. You know, one day I don't like tomatoes, and the next day I love tomatoes. So one day, one part of the morning, that's good for stretching now. One part of the morning I'm warming up, and the next part of the morning I'm practicing up. So it really is a beautiful thing to experience this life thing. It really is it's a gift, an absolute gift. And you know, I don't say that because it's like obligatory or some cool thing to say. Some jive cool dude, Cooley, said it on another channel, and therefore everyone else on the internet shall say it. It's just, it's an observation, and it's heartfelt. And if you're here, I know you're feeling a similar thing, right? It's not to be taken for granted. And so we choose, the thing about sacrificing, we're making the selection, we're electing time and time and time again to continue playing the guitar. Right? That's really important. That's super important, you know. And then we start to get to ask ourselves the why question. Mm-hmm. That kind of thing is fun to do, but I would typically leave that for the practice session, and less of that sort of like bleeds and finds its way into the warm-up session. So I'll just continue with warm-up here. 1 E and a, all right, 4 attacks per beat, still 60 beats per minute, and we'll go ahead and do the diagonal pattern. And we'll go ahead and do the exploded version because we have other things to move on to today. So as we go, and you've noticed this, if you've been around from the beginning of the session, you know, ergo the beginning of 2025, I'm here all 2025, every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern time, doing this morning ritual for guitar growth. It's a warm-up process that is not to be missed. If you're missing it, then, you know, hopefully you're doing it. I'm sure you're practicing this on your own, this kind of thing on your own anyway. But the importance of warm-up cannot be stressed enough. You know, some of us say, yeah, practicing's for people that suck. You know, one of my best mates is like the guitar player. He's sort of like famous now. They fly them around like they're literally Elton John's band. They play. He's a guitar player in a group called Yellow Brick Road, and they're like an Elton John tribute band. They're absolutely smash hit wonders. Like, if you haven't seen them yet, if they're coming to a town near you, I would highly recommend experiencing it. But anyway, so he's one of those guys. He's like, Jason, practicing's for people who suck, man. And of course, we both laugh at that because it's just one of the funny things guitarists say to one another. But he's a funny dude. If you get a chance to meet him, I would recommend it. The keyboard player, I mean, he has all of the Donald Duck out. He has all of the outfits and everything. It's a mind-boggling experience. You swear you just saw the band, you know, Elton John band. I mean, they fly pianos around for these guys. It's like that big a deal. They're the premier one. They're the premier guys that do that. let's go ahead and just jump back into the world of warm-up and a little less discoverability. So after that, we're just running through the minor or the pentatonic system, the pentatonic planets. And if you are here and you don't mind, drop us a like, share, subscribe is helpful, but smash that like button. And I'm just walking through the pentatonic pattern number 1. I call it number 1 because I learned this before major pentatonic. I learned the A minor pentatonic shape before anything. I think that was my, maybe close to my first scale, I think. I had a couple of blues teachers and a famous, sort of like fairly well-known blues slide guitar player in the family. So they were always at the house practicing and playing and jamming, and I remember that sort of like that blues sound just sort of like locking in one night when I was probably 6 or 7 years old, and I thought, wow, now that sounds cool. And I remember exactly the lick that he did. It was this it was one of those things. But I remember blues being important, and so I just wanted to comment about minor pentatonic shape being the first. I referenced that as shape number 1. Shape number 2, we're just going to move up that palette of tones, that matrix of tones, until we get to an octave above the place from whence we came. But I'm running all of those parallel planed, each and every one of those individually through the warm-up system, right? So here we go. 1 E and let's do 16th note triplets. I just wanted to just get through these, I think, because there's a little bit of a mind shift that I wanted to get to. And I do want to start for the last 10 minutes or 8 or 10 minutes. I do want to start shifting my mind from the warm-up mindset back to the practice mindset. So to move from constant and move from the known and then into the unknown. So I wanted to prepare my mindset to move, to sort of migrate or pilgrimage, have its little pilgrimage into the practice, guitar practitioner practice mindset. 1, next shape. And this was the major pentatonic shape, or shape number 2, as I reference it in the PDF document. If you have gotten that, if you wouldn't mind providing some feedback about how that is, if you enjoy that or not. If you are still looking for that, if you would like to have a copy of that minor pentatonic, it's a PDF sheet where we examine the pentatonic system or the pentatonic palace. And it's free. You can have it for free. Just email me at growth@jasoncareyguitar.com. All right, shape number 3. Let's go ahead and take a look at this one. So instead of, me, sometimes I'll use the fingers 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, and then stretch 4, and then use finger 3 on the G string, and then 1, 4, 1, 3. But I'm going to kick it back so that we can keep this symmetrical. Today, we're using 2 notes on each string. So it's 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, stretch back to 1, 3, and then 1, 4, 1, 3 again on the top. 1, 2, you want to do. if we miss a couple of notes here and there, that's okay. We'll just work on straightening it out. Or chalk it up to an altered pentatonic. Good. And the next one is going to be shape number 4, which is sort of like the A minor 7 shape, you know. It's got that A minor shape sort of built right into it. So that's why I like to kind of focus on it as the E minor sort of chord shape. 1 da 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 ba, da ga da ba ga dun dun da ga. I feel like these are definitely growing, and even though we're not patronizing these very much at all yet, we're still sort of absorbing and learning. But that's okay, because we're quick learners, and if we wanted to, we could get familiar with these in, you know, in a blink of an eye, relatively speaking. So we start working through arpeggiations and that kind of stuff too, but not right now. Let's go back to shape number 5 of the minor pentatonic system. We're in shape number 5 of the old pentatonic palace, and it looks like this: 2 4 2 4 1 4 1 4 2 4 2 4. Good. All right, excellent. 2 minutes of stretch, and then we'll be perfectly in line with our goals to talk about just a position, sort of a mindset shift back into the world of our practical application. Just a quick stretch, simple stretch. If you want to go ahead, I set my guitar down like this, place a pickup here, so it's just like a little workbench. Frequently, you'll see me writing like this and then taking notes and that kind of stuff. Especially if we were doing like a face-to-face guitar session, that would be, this is my workbench right here, and then I'll put that sheet up here on the music stand so we can learn together, share ideas, transfer knowledge. Oh, here's a cool little thing. Want to see this thing? Have you ever seen one of these? It's the MD3, the micro digital delay by Gaiatone. Now that's an old school piece of, look at how it's made. No screws, this goes on the pedal board, but no screws on it. Look at that. Look at how cool that is. That's all there is to that. Yeah, very cool. I mean, I just love the idea. I hope that the plastic never wears out. I don't ever use it anymore because I don't want it. I just want it to last forever now. But it's It's a cool, I think it was like one of my first delay pedals. And I bought this at the same time, or maybe from the same shop where I purchased the, man, the action on these knobs is just spectacular too, just like very clean and very smooth. It's like German precision ball bearing feel. I know it's not that, but it feels really great. And the click is very cool. It's not, you have to rely on the light to be on because it's not a real positive click. It's just really quiet. You don't have to tap it hard to get it on and off there. But it's a really cool delay. I thought you'd get a kick out of that. So one of the things I'd like to work on, one of the things that I've been sort of working on, as you know, is sort of like the G run, and then how that kind of communicates into what we call C runs. But I've also been working on patternizing these those pentatonic systems, right? So I know those are super important to do, and I know those are, really great to do. But I think, I wanted to just explore, like, what if I was going to fingerstyle pentatonic system on the guitar and just do something that was so totally chill, I've got to find a key that works really well with all of the open strings, because what I'd like to do is create a cascading sort of feel, right? So I just want to think a little bit about getting away from the monotony of the single note warm-ups now, because we're fully warmed up now. I mean, relatively speaking, fully warmed up. But if I'm finger styling, or just finger picking, I'm going to start with notes that are in the major pentatonic system. G, maybe G, because the open, or E minor pentatonic, but the G, that G major, E minor pentatonic system, that relative system is home to all of those open, beautiful open strings on the guitar. There's so much work to do on this instrument. It's crazy. Like, all I wanted to do is find the G, A, B, or the 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and then 1. So here I have, and thank God for the standard tuning where we have the open G string, the open B string, the open high E string, which is the 6, that rolls back down to the 5 and then back up to the 1, or do, B. I'm not going to Fa because it doesn't belong in the major pentatonic system. You'll see what I'm doing in a second. The Sol does, and the La does. Right, and I've never played that before in my life, but it's nothing special. But if you, Orange something or other, that group would run crazy with that idea. It's just a really nice sort of like forward roll or reverse roll, forward roll. Working forward with the thumb, index, and middle fingers, and then adding one note at a time, bands were back here this morning. It was beautiful to see the pair out there. So if that's the case, like we can use that high E string, that means that we can also use the low E string, right? Now I've got 4 notes instead of 3 notes to fingerpick, and I'm still only using forward rolls. Right, and you see what happens when we start using all of those beautiful techniques that we cultivate through a continued observance of daily morning ritual. So thank you so much for being here. And every time I say it, I feel like I'm just another one of those, internet dudes saying thank you for being here and thank you for supporting the channel. Am I thankful? Only God knows. But I'm going to say it anyway. Thank you for being here, and thank you for playing your guitar, because I truly believe that playing the guitar can improve the lives of those around you. And if you care about those around you, this is one avenue we can all take to provide a little respite in these, potentially tough days, or just add enjoyment and add joy and richness to our lives. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for bearing the torch of guitar play. I'm so happy that you're here. I'm happy for you that you're here. And I'm happy for me that I'm still able to be here. So good Lord willing, I will be here back with you again tomorrow. And if for some reason I don't, something happened. And I want you to know, keep playing. All right. Let's see. What do I usually say at the end of these things? I usually say, okay, and I'll be here again tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And until we meet again, I wish you happy picking.